Hey guys, it's JPO here with another Friday High Vibes video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Jennifer Fricelli, but everyone calls me JPO, and you can too. Everyone, meet Riley. Riley, you want to say hello? Babe. That's my dog. She's crazy. So I'm really excited because when I started my YouTube channel many moons ago, I had a series that I did called What is Aries? What is Taurus? And so forth. I did every sign of the zodiac and people loved those videos. So I thought I would do a more updated version of all the signs, and I decided to start with Aries this month. Now, normally I would start with Aries when Aries season is happening, but I really was excited about doing the series, and we just had a full moon in Aries. So I figure, why not follow the zodiac through the full moons this time and teach you all of the signs. Every time I do a video on a sign, I will also talk about the opposite sign, because I really do believe that you need to understand the duality line to understand astrology. So it is going to take me a full year to go through all of the signs, so make sure to stay tuned and subscribe by clicking the button and clicking the bell so you get notified every time I have a new video. So today we're going to talk about Aries, the first sign of the zodiac cycle. Now, before we dive into the sign, I want to teach you how I read astrology. In each video of this series, I'm going to give a little overview of how I read the signs of the zodiac, how I break it all down, and a little bit of a disclaimer. It's very important to understand that when we're dealing with the sign, we are not talking about a person. So when you're talking about a human being, there are so many things that make up who you are. Please don't think that your sign is who you are. You are not your sign, you are your energy. But your vibrational energy is coming through your personality filter. That's what gives you your personality, your spice, your style, your flow. So in my prior series, a lot of people would kind of comment on the video and say, I don't lie, I'm a Gemini and I don't lie. And they would get very upset if they would hear something. Now, in those videos, I always did the positive aspects of the sign and the negative aspects of the sign. But of course, they focused on the negative and got really upset. Well, that's not how I am. And so part one here, understand of the disclaimer, is that you are not your sign, right? Like when we're talking about the signs, we're talking about the theme. And another part of this is that you have so many signs in your chart. It's unreal. You have a sign in a house, right? So that's the first thing. You have a combination. You're not a sign, you're a combination, right? So I'm Sagittarius in the Pisces house. But is that energy on my comfort zone side or is it on my destiny side? And that's another thing to factor in. So the second piece to this, of this disclaimer, is that you are not your sign astrologically either, because you are your south node. Yes. So if you know what your south node is, it's just the opposite of your north node. So if you're looking at your birth chart and you only see your north node, it's just the opposite of your north node. And it's usually, it looks like a horseshoe symbol in the chart. You are your south node. That is who you are. That is your comfort zone. And that's going to be the sign you resonate with the most. So just understand that when we go through this series. So the way we're going to do this is there's 6 ways to break down a sign. Okay. So for each sign video I do, I'm going to break down all 6 for that sign. It's going to help you understand the sign. And then we'll talk about the negative aspects of the sign versus the positive aspects of the sign. Let's start with the Zodiac Order. The Zodiac Order is so important because when you understand where the sign falls in the order of the Zodiac, remember, it's a flow, right? You can think of it as the calendar. You can think of it as a circle because it's 360 degrees, right? But however you want to think of it, there is a Zodiac Order. And it's very important to understand where in the Zodiac Order that sign is. So for Aries, Aries is the first sign of the Zodiac Order. This is big. It just means that it wants to be first, it wants to be right, it wants to be the best, it wants to win. Second category is the stage. This is key and it's kind of connected to the Zodiac Order because in the Zodiac Order, we have stage 1, which is the personal stage or the survival stage. Then we have stage 2, which is the interpersonal stage or the social stage. And then we have stage 3, which is the transpersonal stage or the spiritual stage. Just think of a child. When they're born, all they care about is their survival needs. And as they grow up, they start to socialize. And then as they get older, it's about spiritual meaning of life, right? So it's the evolution of being human. So Aries is the first sign, right? And it's in the survival stage. So it's really pure adrenaline survival. So whenever we talk about Aries from kind of like a negative aspect, a lot of times it's, oh, Aries, they're so negative, they're so self-focused, they're so aggressive, right? But really, it's kind of neutral when you think about it. It doesn't mean that it's bad or good. Aries just is first, and they want to be first, and they want to be right, and they want to be the best. And that's why most of the time Aries get their way. The next way to break down a sign is the element. And this also sort of connects to the stage. You see, there's only one element in each stage. So Aries is the only fire sign of the survival stage. This is powerful because once you understand that, it's so easy to understand the sign, right? A lot of people will say, Taurus is like long walks on the beach. And I don't know, Sagittarius love to make out. It's so generalized. Like what? Or a lot of times people will say Aries love money. No. First of all, we all love money. But Taurus is the money sign, and Taurus is right next to Aries. And so like a great example of this is when people say Aries are so stubborn and they're so all or nothing. No. That's Taurus. It just so happened that Aries is right near Taurus, and a lot of people that are Aries have Taurus in their chart, and therefore they have Taurus qualities. But unless you know how to break down the signs, you're not really understanding the themes in the right way. So understand that when you take fire with survival stage, and it being the first of the entire stage, you are getting so much adrenaline. You're getting so much energy because it's this fiery, just, impulsive energy, but in a survival focus. Now, when we talk about elements, we have to talk about gender, which is the next way to break down a sign. In the zodiac, we have masculine signs and feminine signs. Masculine signs direct their energy outward, and feminine signs direct their energy inward. So it's better to actually think of gender as more of introvert, extrovert, because that's really what it is. It's not about gender, okay? And we'll talk about that in a little bit when we get to another part of how we break down signs. But understand that fire signs are always masculine. So you've got, now that you're adding in this gender, you can really see it's survival energy, it's, fiery, action, and then it's really masculine, so it's extroverted energy. Next, we're going to go into the quality. It's another great way to break down the signs. So in the zodiac, we've got cardinal, fixed, mutable. And in the stages, each stage owns one of the qualities. Why? Well, each stage starts with a quality and ends with a quality that is the same. Okay? So the survival stage has cardinal, Aries, and it ends with Cancer, which is also cardinal. So the survival stage really rules cardinal energy. The social stage really rules fixed energy because it starts and ends with it. And same with the spiritual stage. The spiritual stage rules mutable energy. Now you're going to understand how this works because cardinal energy is about power. Cardinal signs want power and they want control. They want to lead, but they also want to control. So now we have Aries being the first sign of the zodiac cycle. It's in the spiritual stage of astrology. It's fiery. It's masculine. It wants to control. Are you starting to see how we can piece together all these ways we break down the signs to actually understand the theme? Now, the last way to break down the sign is something that I actually created. It's my own method, I guess you could say. I call it the brain and the landscape. I know it sounds weird. So what I teach is my 1, 2, 3, 4 method. Okay, it's just the elements of astrology. So spiritual energy, fire signs, moves into physical form, earth signs. We have a thought about it, air signs. We have an emotion about it, water signs, and then we repeat that cycle. That is the order of operations in the zodiac, okay? That's why the understanding where the sign falls in the order is so key. And all of these things really do connect, right? So when you're thinking about the 1, 2, 3, 4 method, I want you to think about spiritual energy moving into physical form. That's what I call the external landscape. And a thought about it, moving into an emotion about it, is the internal landscape. Now, let me explain. The external landscape is the way that's just the word I use. Okay, I made this up. It's my own thing. We can't truly control the external landscape. That's why we call it the external landscape. It's just spiritual energy moving into physical form. So it's really just circumstances, manifestation, okay? But technically we do control it, because the only thing we can control is the internal landscape, which is our thoughts and our emotions. And so really, when you think of it as a circle, right? This circle of creation, this energy vibrational circle, it's these thoughts and these emotions that we have create the energy or the action, right? And then we get that physical manifestation or that result, and that physical manifestation or result creates a thought, and that thought creates an emotion, and so forth. Okay, that's my 1, 2, 3, 4 method. So it's really fun to see where the theme falls in the 1, 2, 3, 4 method, because you can understand it even more. So Aries is the one of the 1, 2, 3, 4 method. It's spiritual energy before it's moving into physical form. So a lot of fire signs have this, right? Because all fire signs are because it's the 1, 2, 3, 4 method is the elements, right? So the external landscape, part of the external landscape, it's the spiritual part of that. And so Aries have so much energy, so much adrenaline, so much aggression, to the point where sometimes they might actually just go for something and then sort of think about it later, right? Like they just go. This is a really good trait sometimes and a really bad trait sometimes. Now, where does the brain part of this fall in? Well, on the external landscape, we have the left and right brain, and in the internal landscape, we have the left and right brain, okay? So when you think of the left brain, it's more logical, right? And when you think of the right brain, it's more artistic. Well, in the external landscape, fire signs are going to represent that right brain, and that those earth signs, that physical, spiritual energy moving into physical form, that's going to be the left brain. So it's also right-brained energy. It's action from total intuition and impulse. Okay, so now that we've broken down Aries, from understanding it from all the different ways we can see the themes, now I want to talk about the negative aspects and the positive aspects of Aries. Again, you are not your sign. You are your vibration, okay? But your vibration is coming through this personality filter. So if you are an Aries, or maybe your comfort zone is Aries, or maybe your moon is Aries, or you just have a lot of Aries in your chart, or maybe you're dating an Aries, we're going to understand it from the high vibe versus the low vibe. So high vibe Aries, they're extremely funny because they have so much energy and they're quick, right? And they're survival. So they really don't care about the other person's like feelings. They're just going to say what they're going to say. They're blunt, right? And so a lot of times that manifests as comedy, to be honest. They're pure survival. So like they're going to win, and they're going to win big. And when you have an Aries by your side, you know you're going to get what you want, right? So Aries know how to get what they want. They're very, very confident at best. They are highly competitive. They're also they gravitate to kind of like things where it would be like the military or sports or anything that's really like going to bring a lot of adrenaline, and you need to be on kind of the cutting edge of like survival, right? So they really, and again, it's also adding in the competition and the winning aspect too. But yeah, I mean, I would say like if you need to freaking be number one at something, you need an Aries. Another aspect of Aries that's positive is that they want to be the best at everything they do. So sometimes Aries, depending on where the Aries is in the chart, they're going to beat themselves up. Other times it's more that they're beating other people up, right? So like there is definitely aggression when it comes to Aries, and there's also like a me focus. So the good of that is that they're really into bettering themselves and personal development and always being the best that they can be. They're also really good at tough love. Like they're gonna like really get you where you need to be. So they're great leaders, great leaders. The negatives of Aries. In the low vibe, they tend to be me. So they're very focused on self, and sometimes they can come off very selfish, even at worst narcissistic. They're very aggressive, they're very angry, they're very loud, and sometimes that can translate into actual bullying and actual abuse, right? So at absolute worst, they've got way too much aggression and they don't know how to harness it, and so they're going to just lash out at the person that either they're in a relationship with, or maybe it's just road rage, right? But again, just remember, like, we broke this down, right? So whenever you're seeing these very negative aspects, just understand that that person they're trapped in a low vibration, okay? Because they can be channeling that aggression into helping people be the best that they can be, into winning and bettering themselves and being a champion, right? So the negative aspects are they're just going to be, honestly, an asshole. Also, they can be very controlling. Like I said, they want to win, they want to be the best. So they're going to be highly competitive. They're going to want to debate you all the freaking time. And when they debate you, they're going to want to win. So they're going to make it feel like that everything you say is stupid, that they're the best, that they're going to win, that, you know, that they're awesome. So that is Aries. If you have any questions about Aries, let me know. And before we end this video, I want to talk about the opposite of Aries. The opposite of Aries is Libra. And given the full moon, whenever we have a full moon, guys, it's opposite, right? So we got the sun in Libra right now, and we got the moon in Aries. Libra is totally opposite of Aries. Libra is in the social stage, and we'll dive more into specifics when we do the Libra video, but just know Libra is we. Libra is about partnership. Libra doesn't want to win. If anything, they want the underdog to win. They're always trying to make everything balanced and harmonious, and they really sometimes get trapped in the people pleasing because they really want so badly for everyone to be equal. So a lot of times, Aries are going to fall for Libras and Libras are going to fall for Aries. And even if you're not an Aries or a Libra, you might actually have this duality in your chart where you fight self versus other, you know, controlling your environment and your way versus getting more intimate and having partnership, right? So this duality can also be within you. Thank you for watching. Again, make sure to subscribe and click that bell so you get notified every time I have a new video. Below, you are going to find all the things you need. If you want to go to my website, if you want to follow me on Instagram, if you want a reading, just follow the notes below of this video because every week I'm changing it. And so I've decided I'm not even going to mention specifics in the video. I'm just going to guide you below. But I would absolutely love to do a reading with you, a coaching call with you. Because remember, once you know your movie script, because remember, you're a star in the movie of your life. Once you know your movie script, you're going to be like, whoa, JFO, how do you know me? This is incredible. No one's ever understood why the way I am the way I am, right? From there, what we really need to do is the work on your vibration, right? That's the coaching work. So if you want to work with me privately, please let me know. Follow the instructions below. And I'm so excited to create more videos for you. Remember, you are a star in the movie of your life. You have a unique destiny that's special to you. So keep shining your light, and I'll catch you next week on the High Vibe Show with JFO.
Home, rush to see if she called or even left a message for me in a flash. All alone.